So I don't know why this video is making me look really big. That is just funny. I can't seem to bring it down. Put myself over here. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, welcome. Welcome in, everyone. And we just opened the room. Um, Today, I'm actually on YouTube and Facebook right now on live. And what we're doing today is a discussion on manifesting what we love. And so if you have any questions, if you've been following me, watching my videos, if you have any questions, let me know. And if there's anything that you want to shift out of, if you have anything that's challenging right now, you can ask a question. Just getting set up a little bit more here. Welcome in. Just a little bit better there. All right, so we have some more people coming in, and you are welcome to ask any questions if you'd like. And for those of you joining, I am on YouTube and Facebook. Hello, Desiree. So as people are coming into the room, I can talk about, um, if you don't know me, my name's Deborah. I'm a transformational healer and intuitive coach, and I help you in whatever you want to manifest in life. If it's relationships, I do a lot of sessions with um, people on working on relationships, releasing subconscious tendencies that are in the way for you to have a healthy love life. No volume. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Is anybody else? Uh, is anybody else not hearing me on Facebook? Can you guys hear me? Um, yes, Desiree, I can help you around your divorce. What's happening with that? What would you like help with? And for those of you joining, um, uh, I'm asking Desiree and Shelley. It's nice to meet you. Welcome in. We're talking about manifesting healthy love and kind of releasing what's in the way for you're not having a healthy love life. If something isn't working, I can help you and coach you, and you can ask some questions. So, Desiree, you were asking about your divorce. What specifically are you? What is your challenge right now that you like love life? I mean, divorce is challenge. I mean, it's tough. And can people hear me? Somebody was saying they couldn't hear me. Hi, Martha. Hi, Luke. Welcome in. can you leave a comment if you can hear me? I don't know why people aren't here. Okay, good. You can hear. Okay, so Desiree, we have to come together with both of our advocate. How will this be happening? Okay, I'm not. I know for some reason that was auto. I've been on Facebook. I've only been live on this channel on this page for a few times, and it defaulted into doing it. So I'm not doing many readings, but I am helping to help you kind of shift out of whatever's bothering you, whatever you feel kind of challenged about. So Desiree, come together with both. Okay, so you basically need to, okay, I don't know what it's, sorry. Hi, Jenny. Okay, so Desiree, what do you think is in the way for you to come to an agreement, to be in harmony with each other, to meet each other's needs? Like, what is it that you feel is in the way? I'm talking through this. What I'm doing here, guys, can help you as well. Even if it's not about love or if it is about love, I can just give you a taste of what I do in my privates and also with welcome in. So, Desiree, what do you think is in the way? What's challenging you to have what you want in this divorce? In what it is that you need to come together? I can. Will he come in harmony or in fight? Okay, so this is the magic of what I do. Okay, besides doing intuitive readings, um, and I'm gonna tune in with you. If you're expecting him to come in as fighting, let's back up. Can you see him as coming in as harmonious? Because it feels like he correct. Because that's what happens when we have an experience with someone or the repetitive experiences, then that's what we expect. And if we have power, we can actually start to think of what we want instead of what we don't want and see how that plays out because that's how powerful our thoughts are. So that's what I'm trying to do. My feeling for you is that there's been resistance on his side. And where is the resistance inside of you as well? Okay. What what is Desiree, what is it that you really want? And I want you to write an intention and of what you want in this. You want it to be harmonious. So set an intention of I allow myself, allow for us to be in harmony, writing that intention down. And I can feel already the doubts. Okay. So that's what, and you're not alone. Everybody doubts. But that's what you need so that you can have it. Because when we don't realize how powerful our thoughts are, our thoughts will design everything. Re- Do your best to release the doubts. I feel it from you because of past experiences, our mind goes, well, this is how it was before, it's probably going to be this way again. And that's why things keep repeating over and over and over again. So when we switch our thoughts, and once we switch our thoughts, that can be very powerful in manifesting what we want, like healthy love, or having harmony with someone who you've been in disharmony with, if that makes sense. Mark, mine is either fearful, avoidant, or has bipolar disorder. She gave away everything and her kids for a toxic relationship. Let's see. For some reason it's not letting me. Okay, Mark, I can help you with that. Um, when we choose someone who has those the fearful avoidant who has these issues, it's our opportunity to start to change and shift within ourselves. That's what I'm trying to show all of you. And this goes for anything that we want. It could be more health, better health, better wealth, and it could be so. If we find that we have chosen someone who is um, not healthy, and what is inside of us that we can shift up, that we can start to make better choices. Now, I know it's not so easy when if you're married to somebody like that, or you're heavily involved, there's children and stuff, and all that. So, but the most powerful thing you can do is start to change your own thinking. But what we tend to do is we start to try to control everything on the outside. Try to take a step back and start, you know, controlling our own thoughts. Not controlling, but releasing the thoughts that uh, contribute to the circumstances and let those thoughts go. And how do you do that? How you do that is you take a step back from your thoughts. So we get so involved in our thoughts that we believe every thought that we have. And it's when you start to release, that's what I do. It's called release, rewrite, receive. That's my tagline. Release, rewrite, receive. If some of you don't know me, I'm a transformational, my name is Deborah, I'm a transformational healer and intuitive coach. So when you release, you release all the thoughts and feelings that go with those limiting beliefs. And then you start to rewrite the script. So you write your intention. What is it that you want? So, Mark, what is it that you want in this connection that you have? What's your outcome? What is it that would be the most ideal outcome for you? Because this is very powerful that I can do a reading and I can say, oh, I see this, I see that, but it doesn't really get you where you want to go. It may show you what's possible, it may show you what's going on right now, but what is it that you want and how do you get there? How do you shift out so that you can have what you want rather than what you don't? Very simple. It's not so easy, but it's simple. So Mark, if you can share that, what is it that you really want out of this connection? Do you want to be free from this person, or do you want it to work, or what is it that you want? It always boils down to that. Like, what is it that you want in your love life? Maybe you're alone. Maybe you want like a partner. Um, you know, you want to manifest a partner. Karen. Okay, so Karen, you're in the middle of a divorce. Okay, I'll come back to you, Karen. Hope it doesn't sound silly, but I truly want her to get healthy. Okay, that's a great intention. That's a great intention. So how do you think, what do you think is in the way for her to get healthy? Food for thought, just to think, like, what is it? And if you don't mind sharing, that would be great. Um, and Karen, you're in the middle of a divorce, and it says it needs to happen so we can start fresh. Well, it sounds like what he's saying is like for both of you to start new lives. That's what it feels like. Uh, or But what is it that you want, Karen? What is it that would be ideal? Because a lot of times when people come on these lives and they say, I'm in a divorce, and I'm always like, well, what, do you want the divorce? I mean, some people do, but some people don't. So, what is it that you want? Because we are so powerful, guys, that we can create harmony or disharmony. We can create what we want or what we don't. And even if we're successful in creating what we don't want, my spiritual teacher always says, imagine if you're so successful in in creating what you don't want, imagine creating what you do want. How successful you can be with that, because you are successful either way. And this goes back to this is along the same lines as Joe Dispenza. He talks about the same truth. Eckhart Tolle, all of that. He's been separating these problems for so long. Does it feel worthy? Um, okay, so Mark, yeah, when someone is feeling unworthy, that can create a lot of problems for themselves and then everybody else around. And so, I'm not going to tell you what to do, uh, but what I, what I would suggest is the most loving thing you could do is to send what you want, for her, like you just said, wanting her to get healthy, sending her that positive energy, sending her those positive thoughts, and then making a decision if you are. I don't know. I couldn't read the whole thing. I don't know why my phone isn't letting me read the whole message, but if you're together, great. If you're not, um, or not, I don't want to say great, but I mean, it's like you decide what's best for you, but also, you know, to um, to send her the most loving thoughts that you can. And I'm feeling, I'm tuning into you, and I'm feeling like you put a lot of time and energy into something, and you maybe not gotten the return that you expected, and there's disappointment. That's what I'm sensing. But you can comment on that. He didn't want the divorce. He did. He cheated almost 2 years ago. I couldn't get that. I get that, Karen. Um, and but do you want them back? It could be one thing. Um, yeah, yeah, I get it. Um, yeah. So, I'll come back to you, Mark. Karen, uh, I understand when somebody has broken your trust, to get past that is very difficult. Like, what is it that the way to heal from this and to to really feel at peace is to, and I know this sounds crazy, but especially if you're new to releasing, is to release the knowing or the thought that he wants someone younger, or he wants younger women. Okay, because that can really hinder your progress, and it's easier said than done. I know people who are going through this as well, and it is very difficult. But and when I'm coaching people to, when they want the relationship to work, no matter what's happened, I always tell them, if you really want this to work and you want to come back together, I'm not saying you do, Karen. I'm just saying, you know either way, whatever you want from the connection, either to disconnect or connect, it's going to take your highest self to release all of these thoughts that torture you, that keep you in suffering, that make you feel heartbroken, you know? And so when I'm working with people, either in groups or individually, what is really cool to help to heal and move forward, like you just said, is that you identify what's going on, okay? And set your intention of what you want, no matter what that is. Like, I just want to be free from this person, or but you allow it. You set your intention by saying, "I allow it to be this way," and then um, what happens is you will start to release what's in the way for your intentions to manifest. And I coach you on that, really helping through energy releasing and also through writing things down and becoming conscious of the unconscious mind that's running the show. Okay. And so then after you release, you start to rewrite the script. So my tagline is release, rewrite, and receive. So when you start to write the script of what you want, then you start to feel better and you start to get inspired and you get to you just start your energy shifts. And then when you receive, it's like you're receiving the magic of what you just did. And it seems like work. It's not. It's actually very natural and effortless to do this process of releasing and uh, rewriting the script. And it's not. It's simple. Not always easy, especially in the beginning. It feels awkward. But then eventually it's exciting, it's fun, and you're like, oh my god, I can rewrite the script. And I was listening to Joe Dispenza today because I love his work, and he really hit the nail on the head about, and it's exactly what I do. It's just maybe said differently. It's the same truth. It's like you become this new version. Like you shed that version that went through that tragic breakup and divorce and heartache and oh my god you cheated and blah blah blah, or this person is an alcoholic, or they hurt me, or and they are hurting themselves, and whatever it is, right? you it's the same with health. Like if you really want to heal, and I was listening to um, testimonials from Joe Dispenza's retreats, that people that have like major health issues and how they were able to completely change the chemistry by a new version of themselves and becoming a new version that's either perfectly healthy or much wealthier or has the love of their life, right? So that's what I'm sharing with you guys tonight, or today. On the West Coast, still today, but to to really rewrite the script, rewrite at the person that you want to be, the version of you that you want to have, what you would like to have, instead of what you don't want to have, and continuously trying to patch that up and trying to fix it, if that makes sense. So there is a way out of the suffering, and that's the way. But our mind, our subconscious mind, is running the show. So if you don't get a hold of that, if you don't start putting the spotlight of your conscious mind on your subconscious mind, it's like going into the attic with cobwebs. You're like, oh my god, this has been here for a long time. Holy cow. Oh my god. And you'll start to sort out, like, God, these thoughts are kind of crazy. I mean, you're not judging yourself. You're just seeing the irrationality of those thoughts. And where does those thoughts come from? They come from childhood. They come from adulthood too. They come from decisions that we ourselves, or about others, or about you uh, your spouse or your partner, and then you're suddenly in the middle of things that you didn't want to happen. So that's where you go back to the drawing board. You go to yourself. You try to fix them. You don't try to fix the issues out there. You do what you feel led to do, intuitively, but you start to clean, clean out your own attic. And it doesn't have to be grueling. You don't have to beat yourself up. Oh, I was doing that, and because that's a whole nother releasing, is beating yourself up. Everybody does it, and and I have to say, I feel so much better because I released so much of beating myself up, and I had compassion. Like, wow, you were holding on for dear life for in this relationship for way too long, you know. And I kept going, why am I doing that? Why? And then finally, when you ask those questions, the universe is going to show you the answer, either through someone or your own intuition. And it's just amazing. I was like, oh my God, now I know why I was holding on for dear life in a relationship for way too long. It's because I got a glimpse of the love that I was seeking in another human being that I never had growing up. And I'm not blaming my parents and being a victim. I'm just saying, like, that was my drive. And so I couldn't let go of the limiting belief that I will never find anybody else that I can have the chemistry with, the connection with, and I shut all these other possibilities out because I was holding on to this limiting belief that I will never find, anything like that again. And that's not true. And that was proven to not be true. So, so when you ask, the universe will show you, and you go, oh, God, wow, and then I have so much compassion for myself. I'm like, oh, you just wanted love. Okay, I mean, you're human. And it was like, oh, and then I stopped giving myself a hard time. I stopped crucifying myself and and making myself suffer. So, uh, yeah, Mark, that sounds great. I do feel, I don't know you, but I feel like you are doing well. Intuitively, I'm picking that up, and so that's why I do this work, guys. I mean, it wasn't just that relationship. It was I've been doing this for years, but all of my experiences in childhood, in my adulthood, and that bringing me to this point. And studying with my teacher for 10 years, never get sick of her. I'm always releasing. She taught me how to release. The energy work that I do, um, and working with people is so amazing because I have so much experience to share with others. Hey guys, I've been down this road too, and I found a way out. Do I slip? Of course I do. Am I perfect? No. It's always a work in progress. But I love watching people also transform because this work to me is like the most direct way to release suffering from heartbreak, from any limited beliefs that you have about money, health, wealth. It's the most direct way I have found. But I always tell people, like, if that's not your way, if you're not drawn to this, the most important thing that speaks to you in your language. Right. Okay, Mark. So awesome. I'm so glad you're sharing that. So can you take a step back and let go of wanting to control the situation? Because whenever I'm doing release work with people, and that's what we're doing right now, is when you set that intention that you have for her of you allow her to get the help she needs, to allow her to heal, to giving you ideas of what that intention is. So whenever you, and this goes for everybody, whenever you set an intention, I allow myself to have the perfect partner, or I allow for Joe and I to be together and harmoniously, as an example, or I allow myself to have financial freedom. Okay, so the mind is going to come in and, what the hell are you out of your mind? Literally, no pun intended. And you are actually because you're coming from your true self. Okay, you're coming from your beingness, which is what Eckhart Tolle talks about. Okay, um, and so when you set that intention, then I always have people put the three words on the side: control, approval, security. So, so Mark, you were saying I want to be able to help her, which is a great intention. There's nothing wrong with it. But see if there's like any element of trying to control in there. And that's what you're releasing. Because if we're coming from our ego, we're always wanting control for the security. What's control? Controlling ourselves, controlling our emotions, controlling others. Um, Approval. We want approval, which means love. We're seeking love in out there, um, or we're disapproving of them, or we're disapproving of ourselves. We're not really approving of ourselves, so that we beat ourselves up, right? So that's all the stuff that you're releasing. And it's release work because we're so married to our thoughts. We don't even take a step back to question them. That's what releasing is. We're taking a step back and we're questioning our thoughts, and we're like, do I really want to believe this now anymore? Because where is it getting me? Nowhere. You know. Okay, but again, a lot of people go into Mark. A lot of people go into no contact because they want an outcome. That's also trying to control. So just if that's the case, may not be, but if that's the case, please wanting control. Don't do it for to manipulate or control. That's what a lot of people do. I've been in no contact, but you're just kind of sitting there like I have expectations. So we've all done it. We've all done it, and but if you're doing it, I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but if you are doing it for just your own protection, your own peace of mind, awesome. That's great. I'm just saying all this for the collective, not, yeah, I, exactly. And that's what I felt from you. I'm saying this like in general for the collective, for anyone that may be in a similar situation. So and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but always look like, okay, anything that you're doing, is it for, uh, are you trying to control something? It doesn't mean that you are. Or am I trying to get approval? It may not be. Or security, safety, security. Um, and that, releasing, the deeper part of release is, uh, or the end game of releasing is coming back to your true self, which is peace, which is happiness, which is your God self, basically. And so when you release all these limiting beliefs about who you think you are, what you think the world is, or, just start to question, and release these limiting beliefs, then you start to feel healthier, you feel uh, connected to nature, to the world, you feel more connected to other people, you have more capacity because you're not in the mind trying to figure everything out or obsessing over someone or obsessing over something, and you have more capacity. And so the, but a lot of people release for having a relationship, releasing for having more money, having better health. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. But after you do it for a while, you're like, "Dude, oh, the universe is dangling the carrot. Like, yeah, you can have more money. Yeah, you can. The relationship. You can have lots of, but really, you're coming back to me. Which is you. You're coming back to you. So when people ask me, well, how do you love yourself? How do you choose yourself? That's my definition of choosing and loving yourself. Is going back to your true self. It doesn't mean you're poo-pooing your ego. Your ego is, you gotta have an ego to get through this world. Um, so let me see what you guys are saying. Good for you, Mark. Yeah. Um, Deborah, you need to let go completely, but you keep getting pulled back in. Yeah, and that's okay. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself cut yourself some slack. Just don't beat yourself up. Like, I keep getting pulled back in. What do I do? Uh, that happens a lot, and it's because you want something and you keep trying to get it the same way over and over. And that's why you get pulled back in. So, um, What are you getting pulled back in? Is it a relationship? Is it where your needs aren't getting? What is it that you're getting pulled back in? And I'll give you an example while I'm waiting. If you want to make a comment, Deborah, is I have a friend who uh, really fell in love with someone who did not choose her, basically. But it has nothing to do with her. And it does and it doesn't. And I'll tell you why. So, um, okay, so in her situation, she, the guy that she was involved with, uh, he was being, he's a nice player. He's like being, honest with her, saying, I can't commit. That's just, I want to go with my life. Like he likes to have, okay. Um, and she kept getting pulled back in because she for it to be different. But what I could clearly see was her projections about who she thinks she is and who he is kept staying the same. She wasn't changing her projections. So it kept showing up the same and he kept being that way. And what happens when you truly release and you start to release those projections and you replace them with new projections, then either that person can show up differently, and I know that can sound really controversial, but um, or they disappear and somebody comes into your life who meets those projections that are it's I hope you guys can understand this because it's so incredibly powerful. It took me a long time to get to this point where I was like, oh my God, I am creating everything with my mind, my life. I can't be a victim. You know, and it's empowering. It's great. Hold on. Good for you, Mark, for sharing that. Okay, I can't, for some reason, I can't like expand oh, there we go. Oh, this energy around me. Okay, so, right, you're right, Mark. There is no timetable. And yes, I mean, and the one thing that I want you to do is if you have to feel what you got to feel it. Because what happens is sometimes we don't, and then we respond with, oh my God, I have all this unprocessed grief, right? So good for you, Mark. So that's a good point. And then Deborah, feeling his energy. Yeah, you're feeling his energy because you're still energetically. But what I would suggest is, and that's, and there's nothing wrong with that either because it's like, it's love. It's like, we're all one, we're all connected. So it's okay to be present with that, but also to set your intention of exactly what you want in this connection with this person and start to when you set the intention, you're going to start thinking fresh new thoughts of what you want, and let yourself be free to write down what is it that you want. Um, even if the mind says, "Oh, that's insane. That's crazy. What are you thinking? That's not possible. It didn't happen before." So okay, trying to okay. Okay, so Tony, you were in a relationship for 5 years, and then tried. Okay, cool. Okay, Tony. Yeah, what really helps. What I've been saying to the others is to really write that intention of what exactly you want, and release anything else that you can what's in the way, or either release the doubts or you ask yourself what's in the way for you to manifest that, to bring it into your life. And Tony, um, I feel like you're beating yourself up because you spent so much time on that. I would let that go because time is not real. And, that brings us down when we start beating ourselves up and we're like, oh my God, I wasted all this time. I mean, see how that feels? Like, and, I did too. I did it a lot longer than you did in a relationship with someone. And you can't let that bring you down. I would highly suggest to release that the best you can. Yeah. So all of you, I know thank you for all the great comments and sharing and with others. It's a great way to, support each other. And that is that, um, it, I'm not saying it's easy to release feelings. Okay. It's not. But I would welcome, and that's part of releasing is welcoming the feelings that come up instead of pushing them down or is feeling what you're lost, wishing it were different. It's always about wishing it were different, wishing that it could have worked out, or wishing um, that I could help this person, wishing, all of those, wanting. And when you're releasing the wanting. Now I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, and I'll explain. Releasing the wanting and also letting go of the sense of lack. A lot of people put their happiness on hold for waiting for a partner, to either show up or to change whatever. And you're putting your happiness on hold and also release for your own happiness. And, um, okay, if you can, oops, sorry, I just lost it. Wait, hold on. Deborah, I don't know what happened. I accidentally deleted it or something. Can you send it again? I'm so sorry. You can maybe copy and paste it. Um, what you were saying. So, so yeah, okay. So a little bit of I did catch a little bit of what Deborah was saying. Like you still the reason why you're still feeling stuck is because you still feel like this is your person. You wanted it to be this way. That you still feel like that. And that's where I was stuck too. Where I was like, I couldn't let go of the core problem of me not able to let go is is that I had this limiting belief that person and no one else will, and I will never have that kind of connection with anybody else. All these limitations, and even if it feels like, oh my God, they're my twin flame, or the psychic said, or the tarot reader said this, and it confirmed, what I'm believing. It's anything is possible when you want. And it's possible that you guys could be together again when you let go of these thoughts of what happened in the past, what's happening now, what could possibly happen in the future. And it's easier said than done, but when you see it, you can't unsee it. When you see that your mind has been thinking the same way over and over we start releasing those thoughts and thinking different thoughts. And then everything on the outside will start to shift. Everything on the outside. You will see the atoms change. You will see people around you change because you can't change them, but you can change yourself. And whenever you change yourself, just don't. Anything is possible. And I've seen it. I've experienced it in my life. I've seen it in other people's lives where they've gotten back together. That because you stopped putting them in a box. You stopped projecting. Oh my God, they're this, they're that, they're this, they're that. Mark, I would suggest stop looking at her with those eyes of she's broken. I know this is like, you know, but she is. I'm not saying that she is, but I'm just saying like whatever any of you guys are, whatever you're going through, like whatever you're projecting. I'll give you an example. I was talking to someone on my Zoom call in the group, and they were going through a divorce, or no, they were in a separation, and they said the woman, the wife was just like, I really want it to work. I want us to, work it out and get back together and everything. But he's so stubborn and he's this and he's that and he's this and he's that. And I'm like, okay, that's not good advertisement for him to feel safe to come back. It's, um, that's what you need to let go of, even if it's true, even if he is stubborn, even if, it's to let go of the judgment, really the emotional charge of it. And it's not easy to do. But if you can, you will see miracles happen. You will see things you'll be like, what? You know, what it boils down to is everybody wants to love and be loved. Everybody wants to be understood and seen. So if you're not doing that for yourself or for that person, maybe you can change that for me. I'm not saying that you're not doing it or that you are doing it, but I love everybody's sharing. I appreciate it. Yeah, I see, Deborah. You get pulled back in, and that's okay. Allow yourself to stumble. Okay, you get pulled back in. But what I'm saying is the reason why it's really hard to let go. That's why. But okay, because you know what's happening if you're really focused. You gotta have conviction, guys. Whenever you set an intention, you gotta have conviction. You gotta say it's gonna be this way. How? That's the universe's job. I don't know how, but it's gonna happen. And when you have a conviction, it usually comes from your solar plexus. And you see things go all over the place, and in a good way. And so, um, if the mind is so used to being going like this, with the repetitive thoughts forever and ever, and what you're doing when you pay attention and um, release what's in the way, and you start rewriting the script, you the plug of the fan that's been eating. And what happens is it slows down, it slows down, it slows down until it stops. So those repetitive thoughts, the more you don't pay attention to them, the more they will dissolve. That's and a lot of people kind of look at me like, how do I do this? It's because and meditation is a really great way to pull yourself back into the beings that you are, that stillness that you are, and to um, watch your thoughts. You're taking a step back. You're instead of just being in the thoughts and running with the thoughts and believing all your thoughts. Can I let those thoughts go by? Thanks for sharing. Uninterested. And you'll notice, like I notice, that I naturally have a pessimistic subconscious mind. Hits me in the morning. I have my coffee. I'm like, oh my God. And I was telling my teacher this last night. We were on Zoom and we were cracking up laughing. I said, I mean, it's a habit. It's just a habit of thinking. And, but I let it pass by and I go, I'm sorry, but this is not taking me. And so if the more I do that, the less it happens and it dissolves. It's less and less and less. But when it does, it's like, okay, what am I? Usually it's because I'm feeling frustrated. Things are not happening in 3D the way I want them to. And then I start, that mind will be like, see, da, 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 da. And, that's the challenge. And it can happen in anything. In relationships, it can happen in anything, any situation. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mark. Um, it's, thank you. I mean, because, it is, I'm not just telling it's love. And also, my ex, I think about him every day. Why? Because I still love him. I mean, and it's not the obsession. I'm not obsessing. I'm not looking. I'm not. Uh, it's just so um, enough to where you can see. I'm not trying to make it happen. I'm just letting go. Yeah. So for some of you, if you don't know what I do, or or this is new, the release work, I highly suggest trying it because it's just as an experiment. It's like, okay, um, and gone to the that's where they talk about breath work and the immune system and everything, and that is a great way to release. It really is. It's a great way. Um, it's you know me this stage and where we're doing this type of work, it is the fastest for me. The fastest way is to just hold that thought from the root, so it doesn't grow back. You know, so cool, Tony. You gotta, like I'm sure everybody's heard of Mel Robbins, where he says, let them." Um, uh, oh, you're welcome, Jenny. It's like there's so much relief in just not trying to control the situation, and that when someone is not choosing you, which is a big hot topic, I do a lot of videos on YouTube about it. It can be very painful, and because it's triggering groups. It's not um, it's not actually it, it's not the person. It's the wounds that are getting triggered. And I know for myself, I had childhood wound stuff. I choose guys because I had these projections that, oh, men don't choose me, um, and it was because I made up my mind at some point, in my childhood, like with men, with my dad, with other men in my life, like I'm not seen, I'm not understood, heard, so I guess they don't choose me or whatever. I didn't feel, and my mom too. Was not an easy childhood emotionally, but it took me a long time to get to the point of being able to choose me. has nothing to do with me if they don't choose me. But it felt like it had everything to do with me because it would ignite those feelings. It would touch on those feelings that we feel. So it keeps happening until we say enough, you know, like, okay, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore, you know, because those tendencies are very unconscious or subconscious. They're running the show. That's why releasing is so powerful. You can like start to look at those. Oh my God, I have a mantra that men don't choose me, and that's what I keep saying. Hello, you know. So, and I know I've changed because of the circumstances on the outside. It's so different. It's so different. And now I am seen, I'm understood, I am valued, you know, because I'm getting the validation from people out there. It's because I feel it myself. So of course it's going to be reflected back out there. But until I feel it about myself, it's not going to, I'm going to choosing people who are reflecting what I'm feeling about myself. That's a bitter pill to swallow, but you know, it's very once you take responsibility and accountability, it's easy. You know, you're just like whatever. You can absolutely let things roll off your back a lot easier. Oh wow. Mm, yeah. Okay. I'm looking at. Somebody was mentioning about health problems. Mark. Okay. Trying to expand this. Ah! Okay, so I get the gist of. I know Mark, you're talking with Deborah. So you're touching on health problems. I had cancer, okay, and that was emotionally totally connected to the unhealed wounds of, and not only that relationship, but because my past relationship was very similar. It was like a mix of parents, and because I wasn't dealing with it head on, or I was trying, it went into cancer. And so I accepted, and I as an energy healer, guys, I have to say that uh, if you have any serious illness, go with the doctor, do whatever you need to do. But I would highly suggest also releasing because for me that was the number one most important thing. And finally, and this is something also with Joe Dispenza that makes so much sense. Like I've heard it before years ago with him, but now it's like, oh my God, yes. That is that, when you are, again, when we have health issues, our mind identifies 100% with it. And if this is, it's harder to release on health issues than it is on love, I think, because we always think, well, it's the body that's totally different. It's not. It's still the thoughts that you're living. And what Joe Dispenza talks about is creating this new version of yourself that's healthy and well. Because you're just playing with the mind. Because who we really are, which is perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect love, our beingness, it, that we already are that. So we're actually that's why people do affirmations, visualizations, because they're trying to convince their subconscious mind what they already are. You know, like the mind doesn't believe it. Uh, so it's never believe it. It's the beingness that. Uh, I mean, think about it. Like when you have a child, in that moment, you're so completely present because you are like, um, are, uh, your consciousness is expanded. You know, when someone passes, if you're in the presence of someone passing, like dad had brain cancer and he went to surgery for 10 hours or however long it was, and then he came out. oh my God, I mean, it really was vibrating. It was beyond me, you know. Um, so that's your true self. That's your beingness. That's like what you have access to. And so Joe Dispenza's work, he's create he guides you into creating this new version of yourself that's completely healthy. And that's how people can release the health. So it's the same thing. That's what release, rewrite, rewriting the script. Create a version of you that already has it. Because you already do. That's the cosmic joke. I mean, but the mind is like, okay. And my teacher told me when I got the cancer, um, and I was talking to her about it last night. I said, I didn't believe you. This was years ago. I didn't believe that I could be completely healthy and well if I believed that I was. And because I didn't know myself enough to know my true nature that is perfect health, perfect wealth. What I'm sharing is very deep, but I also encourage people to do whatever works for them and what they need to do wherever they're at with it. But but as an energy healer, I have done work with sessions with one-on-one sessions with people, groups, and really been very powerful. The release and what I call chi reaction afterwards. That's doing which I do once a month. And uh, I had a chi reaction right after, where my body like released something that I was holding on to physically, and it's incredible. It's incredible because all you're doing is just you're tuning into that energy that's already there, and it's free. You don't have to spend money. It's pretty cool. So anyway, sorry that uh, yes, when you choose yourself, absolutely, and, um, and and the mind will resist and fight sometimes if it's new. Like when I am coaching people who are freshly out of a relationship where they're you know heartbroken, and I say, okay, now is the time for you to choose yourself. And I actually did a video on this. I'm going to do another one where it's like it's horrifying for someone who's had similar trauma like I have to be told that it's just yourself because the mind goes, oh God, I'm going to be alone again. And so I totally understand the absolute resistance to that because it's the mind resisting and saying, and labeling it as, oh my God, I'm going to be lonely and alone, and it's not true. But that's a wound. That's a really big wound that can also be all it is. When it boils down to it, it's just a thought. And I always tell people, can you show me your thoughts? No, they're not tangible. But we are slaves to our thoughts, total slaves. And freedom is to not be to your thoughts. And it took me a while to finally see. And thoughts are what are thoughts? They're sounds, images, and sensations. You have a thought, it's a sound. And then this is also very deep. Is my teacher goes, and they're not even yours to keep. And we do. We're like, this is who I am. These are my limitations. These are and it's like no freedom there. There's no freedom. So it's like I've heard that so many times. But recently, it hit me even harder, like in a good way. I was like, wow, they are. They're just sounds and images and sensations. That is, and it's identification with those thoughts that uh, keep us bound. So when we start to release them, anything starts to become possible. Relationships can mend. Uh, someone can come back into your life. Um, Relationships harmonize. I mean, I had a situation with someone who, family member who we had a big, it was like all this stuff had blown up, and that it was like the elephant in the room, right? And finally, the elephant was addressed, and it took me a few months to once I got once I was able to sort through those thoughts and release. Um, I finally it boiled down to just one thing. Wow, okay, this person wants me to love them and for me to love them back. It was that simple. It's like real easy, it's very simple. And I was actually I was able to see what he said and what his complaints were, whatever. And I was like, I can see how why he feels that way. Wow, like we were done loving. He wasn't in my eyes, but I can see his perspective. So I really took myself out and I sorted through what I can keep, what I can release, and then I released like all that stuff. And then when I saw it was just love, then everything harmonized, and I could clearly see in the field that it was gone, that it dissolved. And then when I came to visit, everything was wonderful, as if nothing had ever happened. Oh my God, it was miraculous. And when I got myself out of the way and stopped, being defensive and like through whatever, but I got out of the way and I saw it clearly. Um, then when I was in his presence, then I could see the dynamics even more clearly, and it was all love. It was coming from love, even though there were things I was like, I don't really like that, whatever. But because I wasn't consumed with my own stuff or my own reactions, my own thoughts, um, or my own judgments or anything, I released those. Then I could see things really clearly, and things were harmonious. Oh my God, it was a huge victory for me, and so that's what releasing does. It's magical. That's why I say release, rewrite, receive, and you receive the benefits of it. Seems like hard work, but it's not. And it's not hard. We make it hard. So, anybody else have any comments or questions? I love how everybody, not everybody, but some people are. Hi, Maria. Good to see you. Who are participating. I'm also on live on YouTube. Um, so let's see without these. Oh, okay. Um, by the way, Maria, we've been talking about uh, we've been talking about um, basically what we talked about the other day. I have a private Facebook group, guys. If you're interested, you can always message me. But we're talking about manifesting healthy love, releasing what's away for that to be so. Good question, Karen. Well, my interpretation of this is um, we're all evolving in a collective, and I felt like it really started intensifying in 2020 in California. We were really up. But anyway, same time, I was like walking around my neighborhood, and I was behind a lot of people that were also walking, and I just remember looking at these people and they're feeling energy, and me too. Like it was just like, what's going on? Oh my god! And it was this moment where we stopped, and every like time stopped, and it felt like the '70s when I was growing up. I was like, oh my god, what day is it? Oh, what and hear everybody in their kitchens and food and families being at home and stuff like that. But ever since then, I feel like everybody, the whole world has been accelerating in their evolution. And I have noticed in some people that I've known for years, um, I've noticed in myself my resistance, but then also like other people who are, some are not resisting, some people are. But if you resist it, oh my God, well, it's like, don't do that, just go with it. But also, something that my teacher said that I feel uh, is very important is that because we're so informed now of things that have been going on for centuries. So it seems like it's worse, or it seems like it's all this stuff. It's changed. It's changed. But some people are thinking it's 10 times or whatever. It's like years ago, I have a guru, and I was around some of the direct disciples of the guru, some of the happiest times of my life. And one of them was, somebody asked a question about the world ending, and he's like, it's not going to, just shake things off, it's not harmonious, but I mean, not in or or I didn't. I always talk to my highest self, and I always say, look, I paid my ticket to come here. I want my money's worth. I came here to become, self-realized. So if it gets disrupted because somebody presses a button, I don't. I mean, I know I'll be going to a better place or whatever, but that kind of pissed me off. you know. So I just don't. I don't give it. Again, whatever you say, it's like Rhonda Byrne with the secret. What you resist persists, or whatever you're holding in mind is what you're going to experience. So if you're holding in mind like the world is going to shit, then that's what you're going to experience. But if you don't want that experience, don't hold on to that. Hold on to what you can experience, like the beauty of nature, the beauty of, like I have this tree in front of me that likes to, there's leaves every day because we're close to the coast, and it just like flutters, and I'm like, how beautiful is that? Like I get intoxicated with that. That's what we want to experience. We don't want to have to keep looking at the news and like, oh my God, this other stuff, because it's been this way forever. It's just that we're more informed. That's what my teacher said, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. So why hold on to all that negativity? It's hard enough with our own. Okay. So yeah. So going back to your question, Karen, with the things happening on Earth, it is happening in our personal life. But how cool! It's changed. We're not stuck. You know. Um. So for some reason, I cannot expand this. Um. So Annette, I'm trying to expand your. There we go. Okay. So I need accept. You said I love you, and no, I don't think so. Annette. I don't think you lie. Sometimes people say things that they want in a moment, but like deep down, maybe they're not sure. Or they're presenting themselves a certain way. But your heart knows whether it's true or not. You know. I mean, when I was with my now ex, um, and he said he loved me. I mean, it was I wasn't convinced, I was just like, okay. My heart knew. My heart's like, yeah, I'm not feeling that from you. And it wasn't, I don't even think it was because of me. Um, I think it's just how he is. I don't. Some people are have these certain personality traits that it's like they just don't. It's not in them to be that, or maybe it is. Maybe it is there, but it's like maybe I wasn't the right person. For him. I don't know. You know. But I don't have to beat myself up and say, "Oh my God, I'm unworthy because this person didn't choose me." And that's the true healing right there. It's like because why does this show up in our lives? I'm not saying that this is true for you, Annette, but for me, like, why did this person? Why was I experiencing this? It was because there were subconscious thoughts and feelings about me, about my worthiness, about um, yeah, and also I held on. This was something that I was contemplating today because I'm going to be doing a long form video about it on YouTube. Is the release of the thoughts about myself that I was believing because of how he was behaving towards me, um, and this, when I go through, when I went my opportunity to let, like this kept, these situations keep happening until when we really see, oh, this is my wound, that it has everything and nothing to do with them, but it's like it's this wound that I need to. Um, that I made a decision, when I was that, oh, I must not be worthy. I must not be lovable. Something's wrong, you know. So then I take that and I put it into my subconscious mind, and then I'm like, why am I choosing men who are not available? And the ones who are, that would still come around, I'd be like, not interested, you know, which is the case with a lot of people. And once you start to heal once you start to release those thoughts about yourself, then you don't become interested. You're not interested in people who are not emotionally available, and you will see right through the people who are love bombing, or you'll see right through it. And so then you become more interested in people who are genuine and authentic and grounded and available. You'll become interested because but sometimes you go like in my case. I feel now like I'm ready to call in a partner. Basically, I don't think I was ready for a while because you have to, it doesn't have to take long either, but just to really develop that relationship with yourself. To, yeah. I can feel it too, Karen. I'm so glad that you're so open for this. Like I can feel it. Whenever I do lives, and I'm going to be doing more lives where I'm actually doing the healing. I like I said, I have the two meetings once a month now. Where we're on Zoom. So, the healing is where you can just completely relax, and it's a meditation activation. Where you can receive a lot of healing and release a lot in that session. And then I have another one where it's on Zoom, where it's a Q&A like this, but where people are talking with each other. And so that's, um, And that, that's it's so cool when I'm working in groups or even individually to feel, even if it's just commenting like this and I'm not actually seeing your face, I can feel your energy shifting. I can feel how much lighter it is. And anyway, I will be doing more the energy work, which is the releasing. The way I do energy healing is releasing this work. But I'm just more in discussion right now. But still, it's you're the one releasing. You're the one that's shifting out of it, which is so awesome. I love it. It's very cool. I love the groups. I go live on TikTok and it's like, oh my God, it's it's a um it's like I'm bombarded with so many people, and on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, it's very intimate. I love that. It's a whole different crowd, with the people. And Jeff, where are you from? Hi, David. Where are you guys residing? I'm going to be on for probably another 10, 15 minutes. This music is getting a little redundant. So Jeff and David, where are you at? Where do you reside? Okay, so while I'm waiting for comments, for those of you who joined, I'm going to be on for maybe another 10 minutes, but we've been talking about manifesting. Well, I don't even like to say manifesting because it sounds like work. It's not. Uh, but it's the only word I can think of to say about calling and allow yourself to have it because the cosmic joke is that you already have it. You already have the love. So many people are waiting. They're putting their happiness on hold because they don't have a partner or the wanting. You're saying earlier about what is the wanting. It doesn't mean that you don't want it. It's okay to want it, but it's the wanting, the grasping, is to be in that oneness, and then you can be like, if you really tune in to your, you won't feel that sense of lack. And it's also the sense of lack. And that's what Spencer was talking about our sustainability about when he does the 7 day retreat, that people they come in and they're like, I want the relationship, I want the health, I want the wealth, I want all this. And then by the end of the retreat, they feel like they already have it, whether it's shown up in the 3D or not. And they train their nervous system to be in abundance that they already are. And that's what we're doing in this work. It's the same thing that I do, but it's maybe said or done in a little bit different way. It's the same truth. So you're training your nervous system that's been programmed to coming from the sense of lack of love. Maybe I didn't feel seen or heard as a child. So it's like embedded in my nervous system. And then I'm like running around conscious tendency, like I'm not loved or whatever. It's like, well, it's all kind of true, But it's something that my mind made up at a certain point in my life. And I now asked the universe, ever ask my beingness, I'm like, what's the answer? I get the answer. Oh my God. And like yesterday, I was feeling tired. So I laid down and I was asking beingness for an answer about something. And suddenly, instead of really falling asleep, I went into this like I I saw the vision of like my childhood, like this scene in my childhood and how I felt in the moment. And I was like, wow, oh my God, it's interesting. That's where, and it was like, it wasn't that I haven't healed. It was just this revisiting. It was answering the question. I forgot in the moment. I was like, oh, and, and, um, and so in doing the release and the rewrite and the receive, it's just reprogramming this belief system that you have in your embedded in that you that's designed your experiencing of life. So if you change those thoughts, your life. Lester Levinson was my teacher on YouTube. Started uh, he started the what's it called, the Sedona method. I don't know if you've ever comment. And my teacher spent years with Lester Levinson, and she doesn't teach exactly the Sedona method, but it's very similar. I think it's even deeper. I've listened to that does the Sedona method, and so um, Mr. Levinson YouTube, and he's a great listen, and he's very direct. He's if you change your life, change your thoughts, change your thoughts. Okay, it's not so easy to do sometimes because that, those repetitive thoughts keep eating. And then we're like, I feel stuck. I can't get out of this. It's just because you let those thoughts, and so it feels awkward at first to shift them into letting go of control, letting go of wanting approval, letting go of wanting security. And I know for me it's challenging because I have a lot of followers and I have lots of comments every day on my posts. And most of them are really good, and there's some that aren't so good. And I'm like, I can't let that get me down. I believe in it, and I don't, but I mean, I believe in what I do so much that you know people don't get it or understand, and there's nothing I can do about that. I just have to let it go. You know? But so that also letting go of wanting approval. That's a big one. That's harder than wanting to go of wanting control. And I think I was seeing that in the other life where I find that in the personal life that where I still am wanting approval. Oh, there it is. Oh my God. And so I'm always a constant work in progress, and um, like and you know, I, I see it, and I'm like, all right, I can really. And something else that again I had to drive today for a while, and so I love listening to podcasts. Listening to Joe Dispenza, and he said, "The way you know that you change, you don't talk about it." And I was like, "Yes, that's it." I say, "You know you changed when you don't talk about it anymore. You don't feel the need to talk about it." I'm talking now because this is live, but um, in any area of your life, it's like if you if you're talking about it, are you really changing? You know? Thank you for participating, Mark, and I hope to see you again. And thank you for your comments and your interactions with everybody and support. And I love that. That's what this is about. And I'm building my community, and I have my private Facebook group, which is called Release to Manifest Your Dream Life. You can always opt in if you want, request. But there's a lot more coming as well. A lot of cool stuff uh, that is in the making, and so I hope that you uh, follow and participate. And yeah, be great. And I will. Like I haven't been too much on my Live Into It Facebook page lives. I will be doing that more, and also on my private Facebook and on YouTube as we speak as well, and TikTok, so and Instagram. A lot of times I go on at the same time, but okay, I'm going to end this. But if you guys have any other questions, DM me. It's no problem. And thank you so much for participating. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. If you're in another country, maybe a great day. Um, okay, so bye for now. I will hopefully see you guys again soon.